Welcome back to the Ed Show. This is the story for the folks who take a shower after work. Well, this ongoing debate over charter schools here in New York City, I think, is a microcosm of what we're going to be seeing around the country. A much larger focus is going to be coming upon the horizon, folks, because you see, the fight for better public education isn't just happening here, it's happening all across America. To get a better look, we sent filmmaker and MSNBC contributor Alexandra Pelosi to Harlem to bring you this Ed Show exclusive.
So I'm here in Harlem, which is ground zero of the battle over charter schools.
Parents would keep their kids in public school if they didn't suck.
They go to the right public school. All public schools is not bad.
So you're happy in your public school?
I'm happy in my public school. Yes, I am.
I like the charter schools. Kids are doing very well. Their grades are up. Actually, I think some of them are smarter than public school kids.
My daughters are both straight-A students, and we actually need our space. I actually think it's unfair for them not to have the rooms that they actually need to have.
I totally agree with my mom. I don't think it's fair for a charter school to take up space that belongs to us.
So in this one building, you have an incredibly successful charter school competing for space with a special needs public school.
This is about space. We are talking about 3 rooms that were to go over to the charter school in this building.
What goes on in those rooms now?
We're instructing special needs students.
Let me know if you need help.
Students who live in this community and have a right to come to this school. If we lost those rooms, it would affect the whole community. This is a school. It's not just 3 rooms. This is a school that has spent a lot of time developing a culture of caring and concern and love. It's my responsibility to take care of all students. My special needs students have a right to be here. We have to educate them.
How do you feel about the fight for space in your school?
Oh, I think it's unfair. It's crazy. My son has special needs too. Kids should be treated equal, not just because one scored better than the other. They're going to be treated better than my kid or somebody else's kid. You know, they should all be treated equal.
Our school is a wonderful school, the Mickey Mantle School. We're a loving, warm, nurturing community, and we count too. It's about all of the children, not just some of the children. It's separate and unequal. It's survival of the fittest. It's Darwinian. It's awful. Special needs children count too. It's a shame for children that have special needs to be pushed out, and people can say they can go any place. No, they can't go any place because they have special needs. Charter schools have their place, and that's wonderful, but just don't take away our place at the table.
Daniel Dromm, the chairman of the City Council's Education Committee, joins us tonight here on the Ed Show. Mr. Dromm, good to have you with us. Well, let's see. We've got a lawsuit that's been filed. We've got a $500,000 PR campaign that's being put out by the charter school advocates, and you've got residents who are saying that their public schools are being shortchanged. What's the result in all of this? What's the latest?
Well, I want to thank you first for showing this side of the story, because this side of the story often doesn't get out there. And what people need to know is that for Eva Moskowitz to push into this school, she's pushing people out of the school. She's
What's her solution for those kids?
Out of those schools.
What's her solution?
She hasn't given a solution. She says let them go wherever they may go, you know, and she has no idea about where these kids can go.
Just fall by the wayside?
Just fall by the wayside. She's not talking about what's going to happen to them. She's only focusing in on her own students.
She is running a $500,000 ad campaign. Now, the public schools aren't doing that. What's your response to that?
It's an amazing thing.
I mean, you have to win in the arena of public opinion, and with a $500,000, you can turn people against public education pretty good.
It's an amazing thing. In today's New York Times, they reported that she paid $500,000 to political consultants. Public schools do not have access to that type of money. They can't run their own PR campaigns. They can't hire political consultants to make the case for them. They are at a disadvantage. They rely on programs like this, actually, to get the word out about what they're doing in the public school system.
We have seen some tweets of this program that charter schools can go out and recruit. And there's an extracurricular activity element in all of this, too. Who has the best athletic teams, who has the best students that are gifted in certain areas of music and whatnot. Does that limit the opportunity for other students to be exposed to those who have got, extraordinary talents?
Absolutely. It makes a system that is separate and unequal. And what happens is that those students who don't attend those charter schools don't have the same opportunities as those who attend the public schools. And oftentimes what happens is that they're in the same building. Sometimes the children who go to the charter school go in one entrance in the school building, and the children who are in the public school go into another entrance. They're not oftentimes even allowed to commingle in the same school building.
What is your response to Governor Cuomo supporting the charter schools?
Well, in New York State, 97% of the students who attend school go to a public school. And I would hope that the governor will stand up for those 97%. In New York City, it's 94%. We need a governor who's going to stand up and fight for our public schools.
He's not fighting for the public schools?
He's focusing right now on the charter schools. I think he needs to come out and also say that our public schools are good places and that he wants to stand up and support those children who are in the public schools.
Has the governor gone on record about these kids losing space in a public school, being taken over by a charter school?
I don't believe that he's said anything yet about this. I think that this issue is now coming forward because I don't think a lot of people realize that in order for Eva Moskowitz to come into the school, she had to push other kids out of the school.
So is this a bully situation?
It's kind of like a bully situation. It's unfortunate that it's happening in a public school because we're against bullying as well. But yes, she has big money, she has power, she has these hedge fund managers who back her school, who contribute money to her school. And so when you have that type of access to power and to money, and the other school doesn't have that type of access, then it becomes a bullying situation.
She's gotten a lot of media attention.
She's gotten a lot of media attention. I'm out there fighting as hard as I can as the chairperson of the Education Committee in the City Council to counter some of that stuff.
Isn't there a different solution for this? If they've got $500,000 to pay her, and if they've got $500,000 to pay consultants, I mean, is there not any kind of rental space at all that would be available for these charter schools? Why would they want to infringe on the public school kids?
Right, and you would think with that type of money that they can afford to pay rent. And that's what this is really about. If they want to afford it, they can do it, they can go out and pay rent, let them go out and pay their rent. Charter schools are actually private schools with a public charter. The idea for charter schools originally was that they would be incubators so that the ideas that come out of charter schools could be spread out into the public schools. That's not what's happened. They have become corporatized and privatized, and people are looking at them to make a profit.
What's the end game here?
The end game is that we need to ensure that our public schools are as equally funded and as popular and as supported as other schools.
I got that. I want to know how this is going to be resolved. That's what I'm asking. I mean, how is this going? Is she going to get the space?
I think that, I don't know that she's going to get the space. I think that she has a lawsuit out on it.
Yeah.
We're going to have to wait and see what comes in on that lawsuit, and we'll take it from there. But I don't think public school students should be pushed out of their building to accommodate a charter school.
Okay, Daniel Dromm, good to have you with us tonight. Thanks so much. You're watching The Ed Show right here on MSNBC. Stick around. We got a lot more coming up.